Hello, girls. This is Stephanie. I'm so glad to have some time to talk with you. Here I am speaking from Mississippi on the bay at my parents' house. I pray all of you are doing well. I pray for your businesses to succeed, for you to be great at everything you do. Remember something Susan Holman said on Facebook this morning. I don't know if each of you received it on your Facebook page, but she said that she is a national sales director, and she earns so much. She's actually earned millions in commissions while she's been in Mary Kay. And one of her great tips that she gave us this morning was that she decided when her sales director actually gave her a few tips. She said, Susan, it is your job as a Mary Kay beauty consultant to be on guard at all times, looking for who you would like to be on your personal team. Talking to women about Mary Kay all the time, having lookbooks available to give them with samples, having your card available at all times, willing to be bold and go up to people and ask them if you can give them a facial or give them a party. This is all a part of a Mary Kay business. This is the Mary Kay journey. This is a great self-improvement course. So I want to encourage you all to get out of your comfort zone and be the best you can possibly be. One day, you're going to look back on your life and you're going to feel so good about yourself when you realize that you stepped out of a comfort zone and you built yourself up to be the best you that you can possibly be. A lot of people never understand what it would be like to fulfill their potential and to become everything that they can be. Sometimes people, it's the saddest thing. There's song inside them when they die that was never sang. There was still music inside of them that no one got to hear. And what does that mean? That means that the talent that was within them never got to come out because they were afraid to unleash it and let the world see it. So there's so many people out there that we will never know everything they could have given us in the world, how we could have learned from them. But that's not going to happen with you. You are going to make a statement in this world, and you are going to grow, and you're going to become the greatest you can be. You're going to live up to your full potential. Well, let's start. I want to talk to you about, a lot of people keep asking me, Stephanie, how did you do this so fast in 6 months? How did you become a director 6 months from the time you signed your Mary Kay agreement? Well, there is actual things I did, and I'm going to talk to you about them through the acronym DRIVEN. So let's start with the letter D. The letter D, I'm going to start with direction. In Mary Kay, it's very important that you have a strong direction. Now, what does that mean? To me, if you have a strong direction, you know where you're going, and you have your goals listed one by one. This is what I did in the very beginning. I listed my goals on my goal board, exactly what I wanted to do, in the order that I wanted it to get done. That is direction. Your goals will give you direction for your future. So that is very important in Mary Kay to write down your goals on paper and to also write them on a goal board. D is also for determination. In Mary Kay, you will get a lot of no's. That is a given. I have received so many no's, I've lost count. But what I've noticed is I am so determined, and so will you be, that when you're determined, when someone tells you no, all it is a springboard for you to go faster, to get that yes. Because that's what I've always done. If I get a no, that really gets me all excited because I'm like, oh, I'm not stopping until I get a yes. So let that be your springboard. Every no, let it be a springboard to where you're like, oh, I have to get a yes, I have to get a yes. And you just keep going. Because I want to encourage you. No's are normal in Mary Kay. No's are normal in Mary Kay. It's not you. It's part of the business. So if you're receiving a lot of no's, welcome to my world. This is what we all go through. Champions get a lot of pitfalls. They have a lot of times that they fall. But what do champions do that makes them champions? They keep getting up. and they're determined to win. And that's what this unit is going to be, filled with champions, filled with winners. You will overcome, and you will get up, dust off your knees. They may be bloody, but you're going to wipe them off, and you're going to get up, and you're going to keep going, and you're going to win. Let's go to R in driven. R is for resolute. If someone is a resolute person, they are single-minded, they have audacity, they're strong-willed, and they're focused on the goal. They know how to focus, and they know that they're not going to give up. And they are going to be very strong in their mind, and no one is going to bring them down, because they have made a choice that they're going to make Mary Kay work, and they're going to keep going until things start falling into place. And let me tell you, I had so many no's, but because I kept getting up, eventually I began to get yeses because I got more confident. And that's what happens in this business. When you keep getting up, you develop confidence. You develop confidence. So it's important to stay resolute. The next R is resilient. In this business, it's very important to have strong bounce back ability. A lot of times people are going to say something in this business that's really going to make you mad. Or maybe a friend, or sadly maybe your mom or your dad or your best friend or your sister or your brother. Somebody is going to say something discouraging to you about your Mary Kay business. It's inevitable. It happened to me. Most likely it's going to happen to you. What are you going to do with that? Are you going to listen? Are you going to get discouraged? Are you going to let it get you down? No, you're going to be resolute. You're going to be resilient. To be resilient is to have great bounce back ability. You know what? I heard an old story about a man. He was handicapped, and he started his business in the Amway business. He wasn't doing very well. He had so many no's. He was going door to door, but guess what? He didn't stop. He kept going and going and going. And you know what? He got discouraged because so many people were rejecting him. But he didn't stop. He got up every day and did the same thing every day, every day. Well, he started to get a little bit of success because eventually if you keep doing it and you keep going and going and you don't give up, eventually you're going to get some success. So he started to get some success. Then he was at Thanksgiving, and he was telling all his relatives about the successes that he began to receive. They began to laugh at him. They began to say, "What are you doing? You're leaving your family. You're leaving your children behind. And why would you do this anyway? Do something else that's more, that's just easier to do, and you could be at home all the time." And they began to discourage him. You know what he did? He looked at his mom. He said, "Thank you, Mom, for the wonderful meal. But I cannot sit here amongst people who are discouraging me. I refuse to be discouraged. I will only allow myself to be encouraged. And I promised myself, if anybody that I was around would try to discourage me or put me down, I would have to leave their presence." And leave their presence he did. But guess what? That man is now a millionaire. That man is a great success. And he speaks all over the country because he learned how to be resilient and have great bounce back ability. Let's go on to I. I is for indomitable. When you think of the word indomitable, I want you to picture this scene with me. You have a mountain climber, and this mountain climber is going up the mountain, and it is freezing, and it is snowing, and the wind is blowing, and he is cold. His fingers have begun to get numb as he's going up this mountain. If you could feel what he was feeling, you would notice that his toes are numb. His hands are starting to feel numb. His knees are hurting. His arms are hurting. He's exhausted and he's tired. But what does this mountain climber do? He feels those feelings, of course, but he's not feeling those feelings and leaving it there. He's not focusing on the feelings in his body or in his mind. He's focusing on the top of the mountain. That's what he's doing. And because his focus is on the top of the mountain, he continues upward at a great pace because his mind is in control of where he's going, not his physical sensations, not his discouraging thoughts. His mind is focusing on the positive. His mind is focusing on becoming a champion and getting to the top of the mountain. I want you to be abdominable. When you're abdominable, you continue despite circumstances when others would give up. This is what champions are made of. Another thing that the word indomitable means is you are not able to be easily fearful or frightened. That you keep going despite outward circumstances. And you do not stop. You're like a freight train. You cannot be easily stopped. So think of yourself as indomitable. You're a freight train that's going very fast, and it's not going to be easy to stop you. V is for vow. Sometimes we need to make a vow to ourselves. And we need to tell ourselves, I don't care what my situation looks like. I'm not giving up. I am vowing to stick with this through thick and thin. And I'm vowing to believe the best in my business. Just like you vowed with your husband, for better or for worse, for richer or for poor. That's what you need to do with Mary Kay. Just say, you know what, I'm going to stay with Mary Kay. I am going to just keep going. When the going gets tough, I'm going to keep going. Vision. It's very important to be a visionary in Mary Kay. Begin to see yourself in high places. Begin to see yourself getting awards. Begin to see yourself as star consultant. Begin to see yourself in a red jacket. Begin to see yourself with your own team standing behind you. Visualize victory at all times. Keep your mind filled with victorious thoughts. If you begin to have a negative thought, this is what I want you to say. When the negative thought comes towards you and it gets in your mind, say cancel, cancel, cancel. And then replace it with a positive thought. This is how winners stay strong. They do not allow a negative thought to zap their energy. It's very important to stay energetic. That's the next one. E is for being energetic, excited, and filled with enthusiasm. How do you think people stay enthusiastic and excellent? I'll tell you from my own personal self. If I allow myself to be negative in my thought patterns, I have noticed when I do that, which does not happen very often because I have learned to train my mind, but I will tell you, if I allow myself to think a negative thought, that will zap my excitement, and that will also zap my energy, and that will also zap my enthusiasm. And it will zap my creativity. So it is incredibly important to stay positive and to not allow your mouth to speak anything negative. Negativity is toxic to your mind, to your spirit, and to your Mary Kay business. So stay away from the word negativity. Stay away from negative thoughts, people, or situations that would discourage you. Now, when you're with your people, when you're talking to your team members, or when you are talking to your customers, it is very important to be very excited about who they are as people. Smile when you see them. Look happy to see them. Be happy to see them. If you don't feel happy, you know what? Put that smile on anyway.